Today's quiz involves a cart, a fan cart. It's a cart, it has wheels. The wheels aren't perfect, but it allows this to move. There's a motor, there's some batteries, and we have a propeller. When we turn this on, air moves that way. If I were to have long hair, you would see that the air is going to blow my hair back. The question that we have is, when we turn this on, put it on the ground, what will happen to the cart? And then we make it a little bit more difficult by asking, what if I were to put a sail? Now, this is not a typical sail. This one is a rigid one. It's not a cloth sail. But if I put this on here, with the sail, if I turn this fan cart on, what will happen? That's our quiz for today. As always, write down your response and your confidence. I'll hold that quiz up closer so you can take a look at it. Let's go over some typical student responses. Often we'll give the students a little help here. We can help them think through the cart before we put the sail on. And most students get this. They realize if I'm pushing air out in that direction, I'm going to need to go back. Many will even invoke Newton's third law. They'll say, if I'm pushing on the air is pushing me back. And lo and behold, when I turn this on, it goes that way. When we put the sail on, we have a difference of opinion. Some students will say, well, with the sail now on, it will go in the same direction, just faster. So they'll say, well, look, I've got something to push off of at this point. Other students will say, no. Now that I've got a sail, when the air hits that sail, I'm going to go that way in this case. And still others will say, wait. I think they're going to balance out and nothing's going to happen. So that's a difficult one. So what we normally ask students to do is try to draw this out. Drawing it out often leads us to the correct answer. So why don't you try and draw it out and see if you can get the correct answer before we go over the explanation. Here I have a drawing of the cart. Motor, fan. This big thing is an air molecule. There's lots of air molecules, but let's just focus on one. Let's think about what happens when a propeller ends up encountering air. It'll simply come along and it'll strike that molecule of air. In other words, it's putting a force on the molecule that way, and the molecule must be putting a force back on the propeller that way. And I can draw these in. I could say the propeller gives a force in this direction to our air molecule, and our air molecule is going to give a force back that way on the propeller. And the propeller is connected to the motor, connected to the cart, and so on. So that is why the cart goes backwards without a sail. We don't really care about what's happening to the air. We care about the cart. The cart has a force on it. It has a mass. It'll accelerate that way. Let's continue our thinking. Now, if I put that sail on here, like this, just put it straight up here like so, I now have that wall. Well, when this molecule comes to this side, it's going to hit into that sail. It's now going to impede a force on that sail in that direction. So this cart is now also going to feel a force in that direction, right there. At the same time, that sail is going to push back on that air molecule, and it's going to push it in that direction. So the air molecule would feel an equal and opposite force in that direction. But we don't care about the air molecule, we care about the cart. It should be really obvious at this point that if I ignore the air molecules right there, I've got a force on the cart this way and a force on the cart that way. And that's how we can explain why the cart doesn't move. Let's show you that. When I turn the cart on, we see it goes nowhere. And that's your quiz for today.